Welcome into Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor for WCBN's coverage of Michigan women's basketball. Apologies for the late start. We had some technical difficulties, but we are here. We have made it. We are currently approaching 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're in a timeout right now. Michigan leads 9-0. I am joined by my partner, KG Foley. And KG, Michigan 1-0 on the year. We're looking to continue their dominance here against St. Francis.
I'm going to need you to repeat that one more time for me.
Just give me the overall scene here in Chrysler.
Oh, well, as always, the scene in Chrysler is filled with energy, filled with fans, filled with excitement for a really talented women's team this year who's already shown in the last two games their strength, their dominance, their athleticism. And I think everyone's really excited to just see how far they'll go this season. And people turned out for them tonight. So I think it should be a great Friday night here.
Certainly. In Michigan this past Wednesday, beat Delaware State to open up their regular season play, a dominating 83-30 win. A little fun fact for you guys, Kim Barnes-Arico, Michigan's head coach, is looking for a 200th win at Michigan here tonight. She's currently at 199. It's looking all good so far, up 9-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens tonight. I mean, she's been an amazing coach for this team, having a pretty incredible record, and I think this is her 11th year. She's one of the longest coaches with this team in history.
Certainly, and a testament to that is they had a banner ceremony right before tip, commemorating the Elite 8 appearance that the Wolverines had last season.
Yeah, super fun to watch. I think Naz Hillman came back for it too, to watch it rise up. Definitely a testament to how far this program has come in the last few years, and I think it's only up from here for them.
Michigan looking to run it back this season. They're 1-0. They played two games, though, one of which was an exhibition against Damon last Saturday, where they won 87-32. Michigan, like KG, like you mentioned, they sport a really good squad this year. Even though they lost Naz Hillman, they're still looking good to be inside. Cameron Williams, Emily Kaiser, a big part of that.
Absolutely. I mean, they're benefiting from the fact that they have a lot of returners and some fresh new talent, but it's a pretty seasoned team already to begin with, so we'll be excited to see how the rest of this quarter goes.
And the St. Francis Red Flash are the opponents for the Wolverines today as we resume play. Alia Moore up top, swings it right wing. Destiny Ward gets inside. Good defense by Maddie Nolan. 10 on the shot clock. The drive by Moore. She lost her dribble. Fading away. Missed it. Good defense by Michigan. It's been a theme all season. St. Francis has yet to score. 9-0 Wolverines. Kaiser up top. Swings it left wing. It's Maddie Nolan. Gets it back inside Kaiser. Had her pass deflected. Greta Kampschroeder, who drew the start today, swings it. Now inside Kaiser. Big dribble. Reverse layup is no good. Left it short. Ball out of bounds will stay with Michigan. 19 remaining on the shot clock.
A lot of great ball movement there during that possession. Something that the Wolverines have been doing really well so far this season, as they are super big scorers, often able to find that great shot.
Certainly. And a more team approach, I think, is needed for this Michigan team that lost Naz Hillman.
Yes.
Who was a superstar last year.
No clear star this season.
Kampschroeder fires a three and hits. Greta Kampschroeder extends Michigan's lead to 12. St. Francis has yet to get on the board. Michigan has been dominant offensively and defensively to start this game, approaching 6 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. St. Francis, Destiny Ward dancing with the ball, finds her teammate Sam Miller. Elbow jump shot is good to get St. Francis on the board.
Michigan's defense this season has also been one of their strong points. Several times their opponents have had to run out the shot clock without even being able to find any sort of pass or shot.
Michigan's defense has been dominant so far as Emily Kaiser gets inside, finishes, scores 14-2 Wolverines lead. Ward bounces it right side. It's Addison Nabasel. Back outside Layla Lewis. The pass was too high for her center, Sam Miller. Ball goes back to the Wolverines. To your point, KG, Michigan has just been great defensively all season.
Absolutely.
I mean, great this game.
For sure.
Here early.
They have a really tall team, too, so you can tell when they're defending, they're very intimidating with a lot of wingspan and range to get in the face of their opponents.
Kampschroeder swings it, gets it inside Kaiser, finding Williams down there on the block alone. Left-handed layup is no good, left it short, got her own rebound, swings it back outside Layla Felia. Finds Nolan, they reset up top, Felia in the corner. Kaiser right elbow, couple dribbles, back outside. For three is Kampschroeder off the rim. Rebound, St. Francis. Here comes Layla Lewis.
You'll find that I feel like in women's basketball, rebounding is a really, really big part of the game. As you know, it's not as typical for a women's player to be able to get up to the rim and dunk. So fighting under the net is really important in the play, and that's something Michigan also has a lot of strength in, bringing in a lot of really big numbers under the net for rebounds.
Oh, certainly. The size Michigan has, the technique, testament to Kim Barnes-Rico coaching. It's a fundamental, talented team. Cam Schroeder misses the 3, rebound Filio. Michigan leads 14-2, approaching 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Kaiser tried to bounce it inside. The Williams pass got picked off by the Red Flash. It is 14-2, approaching 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Right side is Addison Novosel. Back up top, Layla Lewis. Dancing Filia playing good defense. Lewis swings it outside. It goes to Felipa Gula. Pass picked off by Emily Kaiser. Here comes Cam Schroeder on the fast break. Goes up, finds no one in the corner. She's called for a travel. One too many steps there for Greta Cam Schroeder as Michigan turns it over.
That's an unfortunate call for Cam Schroeder, but she's a transfer this year from Oregon and a player definitely to watch. They've started her this game, which is interesting. I mean, in the past 2 games, she has definitely made a name for herself so far. Really strong at the 3-point line and really great basketball IQ. Makes a lot of great passes and moves on the court.
Certainly Cam Schroeder getting the start here tonight. No Leah Brown for the Wolverines. Pass for St. Francis is going to go out of bounds. Tipped off of a Michigan defender, though, so it will stay with the red shot.
A few wild passes so far from St. Francis tonight. A testament to the pressure and dominance of the Wolverines defense. A foul called, and I think the ball will continue to be St. Francis's on the end court.
Sorry, continue with these technical difficulties. We'll get them sorted out for you as soon as we can. Baseline inbound for St. Francis. Outside 15, Layla Lewis, couple dribbles. Shot clock down to 15, she lost control. Scramble on the ground. Jump ball.
It's only Max. I can't hear him.
Ball will stay with the Red Flash. Scores 14-2, 3.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Baseline inbound. Duda. Layla Lewis. Jump shot is no good. Offensive rebound, Red Flash. Ball fought for. Up in the air. Another jump ball is called in the exact same spot. So some good play in this possession on this end of the court for both teams. But the ball switches over to Michigan. Now runs the point for the Wolverines. Big substitution, group substitution a couple minutes back. Up top for Michigan, Leah Brown. Inside, Emily Kaiser gets the layup to go, and I stand corrected there. Leah Brown coming off the bench here today. The starter last year in virtually every game. Coming off the bench here today. A little switch of plans for the Wolverines. They lead 16-2 here early. On the drive is Layla Laws. Back outside for 3 is Alia Moore, and she connects. It's going to be a long 2, rather. Michigan up ahead quickly, ball out of bounds. Will stay with the Wolverines. Got tipped out there by Laws. Score is 16-4, just inside 3 minutes here in the opening quarter. Kaiser up and in, plus the foul. Emily Kaiser. Chance here for a 3-point play as Michigan looks to extend its lead to 15. Good play there by Emily Kaiser.
It's been really fun to watch Kaiser come into a leadership role on this team, having a breakout season last year and continuing that momentum into this season.
Kaiser with 6 early points. She is 3 of 4 from the field. Hits the free throw there. So Michigan lead grows 19-4. Kaiser and Felia out on the substitution. Jordan Hobbs is in for the Wolverines, as well as Elise Stuck.
Jordan Hobbs is a sophomore, probably hoping to see more court time than she did last year, as there is room to make up for a big star leaving the team.
Wild shot there by Ward, doesn't go. Here come the Wolverines. Brown leading the way. Up for the layup. No good by Stuck. Williams, the offensive rebound. She missed the layup. And St. Francis regains control. Here comes Laws on the fast break. Stop it. Pop mid-range is no good. Left it wide. Rebound there by Sidor for the Wolverines. And she will take it up. Score is 19-4. Approaching 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Cross-court pass. In the corner. Hobbs lost her dribble. Sidor back. Hobbs for three. Shot got blocked. And St. Francis comes up with it. Jade Campbell with the rebound there. Here comes Felipa Gula. Played for the U20 Greek national team this past summer. It's the star of the St. Francis team as they lose the dribble there. Here comes Leah Brown all the way in for the layup. Fast break buckets for the Wolverines. 21-4 is the score. 1.5 to go here in the first quarter.
Leah Brown is also one of the big scorers for the Michigan team. She averaged 14 points per game last season. She doesn't always start, but when she does get on the field, she always manages to put up a few baskets during her minutes.
Leah Brown, like you said, KG, just like Emily Kaiser, looking for that leadership role this year. As St. Francis hits a three, that is Destiny Ward from downtown. The lead is cut to 14. We are now inside 1 minute here in the opening quarter. Michigan's second game of the regular season. Leah Brown's pass is picked off by Laws. She'll bring it up here for St. Francis. Another three is no good. That's an air ball. Same spot. Destiny Ward couldn't convert that time. Back outside. Laws for three. She missed. Rebound goes to Leah Brown. Behind the back for Brown. Nice move there. It's going to be a blocking foul called on Felipa Gula for St. Francis. That's her first.
Who was that a foul on?
Yeah, foul on St. Francis going to be on Gula. Looked like Brown might have extended that arm a little bit. Refs giving Michigan the benefit of the doubt there. Got a replay here on the Jumbotron. That's the fast break.
Seems like a call that could have gone both ways.
Right, yeah. Could have gone either way.
For Michigan.
For threes, no good for Sidor. Here comes St. Francis. So the clock difficulties here in Chrysler. Left-handed layup is short. It's going to be a jump ball called.
Again, seeing that fight for the rebound under the net, something that happens quite a lot for Michigan during these games.
Certainly. Ball this time stays here with St. Francis. 21-7 Michigan leads. 22 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. Gula will inbound for St. Francis. Finds Destiny Ward. Up top for three. It's no good from Madison Novosel. Rebound St. Francis, though. They keep their possession alive here and likely take the last shot. 10 seconds to go here. Gula's got it. Double team by Kaiser and Brown. Gula right side. Trying to find her teammates. Got picked off by Kaiser. Michigan has a chance to get one shot off. 2 seconds left. 1 second left. Hobbs. Pass. Layup is good, but they couldn't get it off in time. Hobbs made one too many passes there. As Michigan's lead remains 14, 21-7 here in the opening quarter.
Having some technical difficulties hearing my partner here, but it is a 14-point lead here for Michigan. They are in the lead as they are definitely the more dominant and talented team, but I will say their shots have been a little cold tonight, especially from the three-point line where they usually have thrived so far this season. So I think there's a little bit of excitement on the team right now that can settle so they can use this game where they are more clearly the dominant team to work on some plays, work on some team chemistry. Because right now the game is, I will say, a little sloppy in my opinion. But I think that they make up for it in their raw talent in comparison to SFU tonight.
Certainly there is a talent differential, it would seem. Michigan has a 14-point lead here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a common matchup for these two teams. I mean, I think Michigan has only played SFU one other time years ago. They are in two different conferences, and Michigan plays ranked teams much more often than SFU will. So tonight isn't a big competitive moment for Michigan, but I definitely think these early games need to be a time for them to strengthen things that they find weak in their own play and help those new players get acclimated to this team in the college stage.
St. Francis here, like you said, tough out-of-conference matchup for them. Oh, on the road against an elite Big Ten program here.
Yeah. I mean, also to come and have them raise their Elite Eight banner right in front
Right.
of you is a pretty stark reminder that this is a team with a lot of history and a lot of strength. And a lot of those players are still here from last year. I mean, only losing a couple really big stars. And while there is no big star on this team right now, there are a lot of strong players, a lot of strong shooters that can absolutely fill in some of the numbers that Noz Hillman was putting up last year. And I really hope to see Pam Schroeder fill in that role as a shooter for this team. She has already shown the last couple of games her strength from the three-point line, but I think tonight she honestly is a little cold. She's tried to put up a few 3 points that haven't really landed for her. And so hopefully she settles a little bit into the environment and onto the court. I think this was her first game starting, so maybe that's also something that's on her mind tonight. But I hope to see her back on the court because I'm a big fan of hers. And she says that she came to the Michigan team because she wanted a team that prioritized working hard and, you know, not taking anything for granted. And she didn't really feel that when she was at Oregon. So I can always appreciate a player that wants to work hard.
And Cam Schroeder's had a great start to her Wolverine career. She started in place of Leah Brown, who came off the bench today. In for Michigan now is Ari Wiggins off the bench. Brown up top. Dribbling around, finds Wiggins right wing. Wiggins swings it cross court. Hobbs corner three is no good off the rim. Rebound Kaiser. Layup is good. Emily Kaiser showing off the presence on the inside. Lead is now 23-7. Michigan leads. Gula for St. Francis. Controls the ball. Kaiser, good defense. It's Leah Brown actually tipped it out of bounds.
Ari Wiggins is a really fun player to watch. She's very quick and very dynamic and also a great ball handler, a point guard contender this season.
Great to have a player like Wiggins coming off the bench for you. Rock solid, like you said, on both ends of the floor. Good ball handler, good defender. And I commentated the Damon game, the exhibition game for the Wolverines, and she did an excellent job on the opposing point guard, picking them up at half court, running down the shot clock. So it's great to have just a solid piece on your bench like that. Is Brown fires a three, in and out. Tough luck miss there for Leah Brown. Ball to St. Francis. Here comes Gula. Guarded closely by who else? Wiggins, putting on the pressure. Gula gets a screen. Inside, ball picked off by Michigan. Good defensive play there. Here comes Leah Brown. Bounces inside. Wiggins back to Kaiser. Beautiful play by the Wolverines. Wiggins on a cut, dumped it off to Kaiser. Some beautiful team basketball there.
Absolutely. Ari Wiggins is very in tune on the court, and she clearly, the second she steps on the court, brings a lot of energy, and I think it brings out the best in her own teammates, too.
Another near turnover for St. Francis as Leah Brown tips that pass out of bounds. Score is 25-7. Michigan leads here early. Michigan 1-0 in the early season. St. Francis 0-1. It's the second all-time meeting between these two opponents. Last one came in 2005 when Michigan won 80-52. Jump shot there by Jade Campbell is good. Cuts the Michigan lead to 16. Wiggins quickly up top. Finds Brown right wing. In for the Wolverines. Now is Alyssa Crockett. Inside, Kaiser missed the layup. Ball tapped back. Brown regains control. Hobbs, wide open three up top is no good off the heel. Rebound, Jade Campbell. Just inside 8 minutes here in the second quarter. Gula controls the pace here for St. Francis as Wiggins picks it off. Ari Wiggins goes up for the layup and converts. To your point, KG, Ari Wiggins applying the pressure.
Applying the pressure. She really is great at that and intimidates high up on the court, making it hard for St. Francis to get past her or even make a pass. And she's also really great at cutting off those passing pathways.
Gula's pass is picked off by Leah Brown. Another turnover for St. Francis as Michigan playing excellent defense. Brown in the corner, wide open for three and left it short. Gets her own rebound, though. Tries to throw it off the defender, and she does. Threw it right off Alia Moore.
Smart play right there.
Yeah, very smart play.
Again, not seeing Michigan being too hot from the three-point line, which is usually one of their strengths. They are a really high-scoring team with a lot of really strong three-point shooters. But tonight, they've been a little cold from that line.
Michigan inbounds baseline and some miscommunication there between Wiggins and Leah Brown. Wiggins threw it right over a cutting Brown's head. So ball back to St. Francis. A group substitution here for the Wolverines. Maddie Nolan back in, Layla Felia back in for the Wolverines.
The Wolverines can have a really deep bench this season if they use these early games to strengthen all their players. Because I think something that the program has not really struggled with, but has been their tactic is, not playing their players in their early years and letting them come into their role in their senior and sometimes their post-grad years. But I think that, now that they are such a dominant team, they can use against these, lesser ranked teams, they can use these early games to help strengthen their bench before that more competitive play later on.
Kaiser got the layup to go there. Score is 29-11, approaching 6.5 to go here in the second quarter. Up top is Ward for St. Francis, trying to find her teammate in Does. Michigan hounding the St. Francis ball handlers here defensively. Moore drives inside, whistle blown. It's going to be a charge. Michigan forces yet another turnover. Emily Kaiser that time took the charge for the Wolverines.
Watching Maddie Nolan and Cam Schroeder on defense, they both are very similar in their type of intimidation tactics and aggressive defensive play. They get very much in the face of their opponents, and it works to their advantage as we see turnover after turnover here tonight.
12 turnovers here, not even through the first half for St. Francis. Cross court, Maddie Nolan tries a corner three, left that one short. Rebound fought for, ball out of bounds. Will go to St. Francis. Alyssa Crockett fought for the rebound there. Ball went out of bounds.
An unfortunate miss for Maddie Nolan, but she is known to usually be one of the strongest three-point shooters on this team. And, once you lose a big scorer like Naz Hillman, you need to kind of have those strong shooters on the court to fill in for a big star player not putting up those points.
And Nolan just picked that pass off and took it in for a layup, plus the contact. So Maddie Nolan a chance for a three-point play. Trying to redeem that corner three, and she will head to the line. Michigan sports a 20-point lead.
Michigan has been really strong at the free throw line, shooting 94% their first game in the exhibition, and then last game 80%. As Maddie Nolan makes that one right there. Free throws are sometimes overlooked, but during those more intense games where the score is much closer, every point counts, and if you're getting put up at the line multiple times, those are free points that you should never throw away. So having that be something as a strength for Michigan is something that could put them ahead against tougher competition later on.
Another turnover here for the Red Flash. It was Jade Campbell that time that lost control. Ball went out of bounds. So Cam Schroeder quickly up court for the Wolverines. Felia, great ball movement here by Michigan. Cam Schroeder wide open from three, missed it, left it short. Michigan's been getting open shots though thus far. Another pass is picked off for the Red Flash. Cam Schroeder almost threw it away that time. Ball goes out of bounds, though. Will stay with Michigan. So it's been quite a sloppy game here early, especially for St. Francis.
Yeah, St. Francis seeming definitely intimidated by Michigan. A lot of passes picked off, a lot of air balls, a lot of pretty poor shot choices. I think it just speaks to the strength right now that is the Wolverine team.
Crockett tries a corner three, and she hits. So Michigan finally hits one of those threes, and they extend their lead to 24. It is 35-11. Approaching 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Right wing is Campbell for the Red Flash.
That was Alyssa Crockett who just made that. She's a freshman this year, one of the pretty high-ranked recruits by ESPN at number 48. As a freshman, not sure how much time she'll get on the court this year, but it's nice to see that the coach is putting her in these earlier games to give her a chance to acclimate to this new environment and team.
Campbell had her shot blocked by Crockett that time, and St. Francis turns it over. So with that turnover, they have one less turnover than shot attempts this game. 16 turnovers and 17 shots.
Yeah, Michigan absolutely shutting shutting them down right now. They must be on a pretty high run. I think SFU has been at 11 points for quite some time now. So great to see that their defense is really strong.
Media timeout here on the floor gives us a chance to catch up on everything we've missed.
Right.
We apologize for the technical difficulties we had early, but it seems that everything is up to speed
Yep.
for us
Seems
with
like we're
WCBN.
good now. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you as well.
Then
So I
we're
think
great.
things are back up. I want to give a shout out to Neal, who will be calling the second half of the game, for frantically tending to the technical difficulties as the game went on early. Big thanks to him there, and we're all good to go here. So 35-11.
Yeah.
We said coming into this game, St. Francis, not a Power 5 conference team.
Nope.
Michigan, high expectations, so this might be a blowout. Obviously, Kim Barnes-Rico looking for a 200th win.
Yeah.
In addition to that, you've got the Elite Eight trophy ceremony, banner ceremony for Michigan. So just a lot working for Michigan and a lot working against St. Francis.
Yes. I mean, it's always difficult to come into the Chrysler Arena. There's a lot of show, there's a lot of excitement, and there's a lot of spirit here. And with the banner, it was only elevated. But to SFU's credit, they've been playing hard. They haven't given up. They're still running the court. They're still trying. So, it's always nice to see some competition. But again, this is not really a competitive game for Michigan, but more a chance to work on their bench, work on their skills, work on that team chemistry. Because they have to figure out their identity this season without a star like Naz Hillman, who's probably one of the best players this program has seen and will see for quite some time. But I think that they've done a really good job of coming into that new identity with a lot of great leadership from some seniors and from some post-grad students. I mean, they were ranked at 25, which some people were a little bit confused by coming into the season based off of the season they had last year. But you do have to take into credit losing two pretty big stars. But Maddie Nolan talked about how the team actually likes to be a little bit underranked, likes that underdog role. She thinks it's really going to push her team and push them to prove everyone wrong. And I like that spirit, and I think that this team definitely has a lot of spirit.
Playing as a team is certainly the case here early in the season for Michigan. Been great defensively. In this first half alone of this game, they've been moving the ball exceptionally well.
Absolutely. I mean, the ball movement has been great. They've had a lot of open shots. I mean, perhaps they haven't been making them, but they have been finding those opportunities. So hopefully the accuracy will improve as the season goes along. I mean, they've had a lot of accuracy in previous games, so perhaps something's a little off tonight, but they are finding those shots, which is half the battle. So it's great to see that happening.
Play resumes here in Chrysler. 4.5 to go here in the second quarter. Michigan leads it 35-11. Alyssa Crockett up top for the Wolverines. Cam Schroeder on the left wing now. Swings it to Nolan right side. Crockett gets it, finds Williams back to Nolan in the corner. Nolan a couple dribbles. Crockett, Felia on the wing, wide open three. Goes for Michigan. Another product of great ball movement there for the Wolverines. Turns to a Layla Felia three, and Michigan leads it by 27.
Layla Felia, only a sophomore, was one of the freshman players that saw the most playing time last year and has continued to step up on the bench this season, now being a starter.
Forward Sam Miller there settled for a mid-range shot, left it short. So Michigan back the other way. Williams inside, big dribble, reverse layup is good for Cameron Williams, and Michigan has hit the 40 mark here with 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half. It is 40-11. Michigan leads it. Gula for St. Francis. Awful lot of dribbling from her. Cam Schroeder guarding her closely. Gula takes it baseline. Sam Miller stop and pop is no good. Foul is called, though.
Michigan plays really effective man-to-man defense. They stay really tight on their opponents, really in their face. And I feel like, this could be quite the statement to me, I don't really know, but I feel like I see zone defense a lot with teams, especially in men's basketball. But I think Michigan is using their strength, their height, and their intimidation to their benefit by playing really intense man-to-man defense, and it's been working for them the past 3 games.
That's certainly the case, as Michigan has allowed only 5 makes here tonight for St. Francis in the first half, as Miller splits the pair from the line. Lead is 28 for Michigan. Approaching 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Left wing, Maddie Nolan. Crockett on the elbow, goes right back to Williams inside. Fading hook is good as it bounces around and in. As Cameron Williams extends Michigan's lead to 30.
Cameron Williams is a force under the net, both in rebounds and in fighting for those layups.
Williams has 6 on 3 of 5 from shooting. Gula up top for St. Francis. She'll bring it back out. Double team now. Gula inside, step back. Finds her teammate. Back outside, Gula for 3 is no good. Rebound, Alyssa Crockett. Cam Schroeder swings it to Foley in the corner. A couple big dribbles, gets inside. Ball finds its way to Camp Schroeder back up top. Now Nolan in the corner. It looks like St. Francis is employing a 2-3 zone as Cam Schroeder leaves the 3 short. Offensive rebound for Foley. She's been aggressive on the offensive board so far.
Absolutely. She holds the right side of the court really strong and is able to see the court really well and make really smart passes, and also knows when to take that shot and when it's a good time to do it.
Jump ball is called. Cameron Williams almost had it picked off. She held on to it, though, so ball will go to St. Francis. Approaching 2 minutes to go here in the opening half.
A substitution changes. Alyssa Crockett and Camp Schroeder come off the field, and I think Elise Stuck came on, and was that perhaps Leah Brown that took her spot? Yep, Leah
Brown is in. Brown is in as well as Elise Stuck. You got that right. So some late substitution in the half here for Michigan. 2 minutes to go. Moore had it picked off. Here comes Michigan the other way. Maddie Nolan finds Stuck. Wild pass, though, and St. Francis gets it back. Here comes Gula.
Seemed to be a little bit of a miscommunication there on that offensive move.
And Gula throws it out of bounds. So Gula is now at 6 turnovers on the night in the first half. How much of that is just Michigan's defense?
I would say a lot of that is probably Michigan's defense. I mean, Gula's a starter for this team. I can't imagine that a lot of those faults are just part of her play. I think it speaks very much to Michigan's intense defense and ability to pick off those weak moments.
Layla Felia hits a 3 on the other end. Michigan extends its lead to 33. The score is 45-12. Wolverines lead it. Approaching 1 minute to go here in the opening half. Right wing is Destiny Ward. Back up top, Alia Moore inside Miller. Ball was a little bit too high for the center. So possession goes back to Michigan.
Lila Felia at 10 points tonight. She had 20 points last game, proving to be a really big scorer for the team this year. And as it is only the first half, perhaps she'll get there again.
Michelle Seedor checks in for Maddie Nolan. She will take point guard duties. Nari Wiggins comes to the scorer's table now. Felia on the drive. Mid-range is good. Layla Felia, as you mentioned, KG keeping that scoring going.
Absolutely.
Up top, Gula for St. Francis. Nice move there by her. Left-handed layup is no good. Left it short. Good move to get to the cup, but couldn't convert. Back outside, McConnell for 3. He left it off the heel. Rebound, Felia. She's been all over the boards tonight.
Absolutely. She puts up high numbers all over. She puts up numbers with assists. She puts up numbers with rebounds. She puts up the numbers with points. She's definitely makes big, big moves for this team.
Cameron Williams in the post against Alia Moore. Their foul is called on Moore. It's going to be her second foul.
Lila Felia has actually been shooting 100% tonight. 5 for 5 for field goals and 2 for 2 from the three-point line. She's been on point tonight as they give her a little break as Ari Wiggins steps in for her.
No turnovers as well, so a perfect game the first half for Lila Felia.
Super clean.
Yep. Outside for 3, Michelle Seedor missed it. Rebound fought for out of bounds. It goes back to St. Francis. Score is 47-12. Michigan leads it. Just under half a minute remaining here in the opening half. Wolverines playing lockdown defense and moving the ball tremendously on offense.
Absolutely. It seems to be kind of their motto is that tough defense and that breakout offense. They're strong on both ends of the court, and I'm really excited to see them play against some tougher competition and put some of that to the test, because I think they could really make some of those higher-ranked teams sweat a little bit.
5 seconds to go here in the first half. Leah Brown, inside layup is good that's at least stuck as she ends the scoring here for Michigan. Going into halftime, the Wolverines lead it 49-12. Wolverines shot 21 of 41 from the field in that half, 51%, but perhaps the biggest storyline of the half is the Wolverines' defense, forcing St. Francis to 20 turnovers.
20 turnovers. I mean, it's still a college team, and to force a college team to have 20 turnovers is no easy feat. It's not something that should be looked upon lightly. It is absolutely a testament to how well their defense is working. And it's because they're playing that really intense man-to-man defense super well. They have intimidation, they have height, they have speed. They're a very quick team, very athletic. So they're able to get back quickly, able to find their man, able to stay on them and follow them around, and also able to pick off a lot of passes because of their height, because of their wingspan, and because that they're right on top of each of their players.
Exactly, and credit to Kim Barnes-Rico. I mean, she's clearly instilled that ball movement is a priority offensively.
Yes.
And Michigan's not really dominating from a percentage standpoint. They're only 5 of 20 from 3. That's 25%. But they've been moving the ball, and they've gotten great looks on the inside. And like you mentioned, great defensive ability for the Wolverines, and that's really what given them this monstrous lead going into halftime.
Yes, and it's, the ball movement is just as much as the work, like I said before, as the shooting. You can see how SFU can't find those shots. They can't find them because of the really strong defense, and Michigan is able to find them because of their really, really strong offense and their ability to pass the ball. And I think they have a lot of really smart players on the team. I think players with some really high basketball IQ who are able to see the entire court at the same time and, know when to make those cuts, know when to make those passes into the paint, and, know when to take that chance and make that shot because they're open. So it's really fun to watch. This team is absolutely meshing together. And, like I said, coming into their new identity without their star and coming off of an Elite Eight season. So it's been super fun to watch, and I'm excited to see how it goes when it gets a little tougher because right now it is 49-12. So
Emily Kaiser leads a pretty balanced scoring attack for the Wolverines. She's got 13 points and 6 of 8 shooting.
Yeah.
Layla Filier's right behind her, 12 points, and we mentioned that perfect game. She's perfect from the field. She has no turnovers. She's an excellent game here from the sophomore.
Yeah, super fun. I mean, Emily Kaiser is a very understated player for this team sometimes. I mean, we know her name, we know what she's doing, but, she is very steady for this team, I think, and I think a lot of the younger players are looking to her for some confidence, for some leadership, and she's really coming into that leadership role this year, which is super great to watch. It's always fun to watch players turn into leaders on the team.
Oh, certainly. And Naz Hillman, obviously, a big part of that for last year's team.
Yeah.
Not only the scoring and just to start him on the court, but the leadership qualities that she possessed.
Yeah, I mean, she also brought a lot of energy to the stadium and energy to the team. People were coming to watch her because she was such a star. So losing some of that, I think, can also affect a team's confidence of, are we going to be as good without her? Are we going to be as fun to watch without her? And I think that Michigan is stepping up to that role really well. And there's a lot of really fun players to watch on this team. Like Ari Wiggins, super fun to watch. I'm really excited to see her go against some tougher competition because she's so quick, she's so fast, and she's got a lot of energy on the court. And she only has 2 points tonight, but every time she comes on the court, I think the energy of the court changes.
And you'd think that as this Michigan lead grows, it's already at 37. You would see more of the reserves get some more minutes, and perhaps we can get a sneak peek into what they may bring to the court. Ari Wiggins is certainly in line for probably more playing time in the second half.
Yeah, I think those later quarters, some of the bench is definitely going to get up more and spend some more time on the court. But these younger players are also in a healthy way having some competition with each other to prove who's going to be getting those big minutes, who's going to be in those starting rotations. And now is the time to do it, when there's not a lot on the line, when there's not a lot of risk, taking those shots, taking those chances, taking those drives, and, showing the coach and showing the team what you can do at your best. And so in this second half, I think that's probably what we'll see. We'll probably see Emily Kaiser not play as much. We might see Lila Felia still stay on the court just because she is a sophomore and she is still, coming into her role on this team. But I think some Maddie Nolan might step off the court for some time too.
Leah Brown maybe.
Yeah, Leah Brown for sure. People who've already sort of established what their role is on this team, and there's younger players who have to, start to make a name for themselves and, show what they're good at, because you can come from high school with all these statistics and all of this stuff about you, and even off of your freshman year when you've only played a few minutes probably last year. And, you got to make a new identity on this team, and that's what these early games are for.
Michigan leads it 49-12. At halftime, as we are about to turn it over to Neal for the second half of commentary. Once he finishes chewing. And he'll let us know when he's ready.
He'll let us know when he's ready. He's having a bag of chips right now. We get boxes of food when we do the radio, in case anyone was wondering.
We're actually changing plans. We're going to go to break for a couple minutes.
Oh, no, we're going to
let them get set up, let them get ready to go for their broadcast, and then we'll get right back to you.
Finish that bag of chips, right? Yeah, for sure.
Stay right here at WCBN. Scores 49-12. Michigan leads. Just under 10 minutes to go and halftime, so stick around. We'll be back for the second half of coverage here on WCBN Sports.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to WCBN's coverage of Michigan women's basketball. Today, we have the number 25 team in the country, the Michigan Wolverines, up against St. Francis University. That is St. Francis from Loretta, Pennsylvania. A very, very small team competing in the Northeastern Conference. My name is Neal Sinha, joined alongside with Shai Dweck. Shai, by the way, first of all, we want to say we apologize for all of the technical difficulties. I don't know what in the world was going on with our soundboard, but we seem to have figured it out to a certain extent as we get ready for the second half here. Just under a minute left until we get underway. Shai, from that first half, what did Michigan do so well to get up 49-12 as we go into the second here?
Well, they built off of their win against Delaware State on Wednesday. Both times got out to fast starts. So went on a 14-0 run on Wednesday. Now I believe it was 13-0 to start this game. They have a 37-point lead as of now. The score is 49-12. Against DSU, very similar. They had a 22-point lead at half, 40-18, and the stifling defense from really all the Michigan players have fueled these two dominant performances.
Most definitely, and I think, one relatively big observation you have to make, too, is the three-point shooting. They might not have made a lot of them. They're just 25% from the field, but they had 20 attempts in that first half. That's something that this Michigan team has not really done in the past few years under Kim Barnes-Arico. 20 first-half attempts from behind the arc. I mean, that's got to be surprising. Is that because Naz Hillman's gone?
I think it's a multitude of things. First, it's not like they aren't trying to work the ball inside. We've seen Williams, we've seen Kaiser get the ball and be able to finish at the rim with ease. But those shots are there, and when you're playing a team like St. Francis, when you're kind of outmatching them, those are opportunities that you can be willing to take.
Most definitely, and, as we alluded to there, this is a Michigan team that was very, very successful last year. Everybody in the Big Ten, you would think, is going to be gunning after these Wolverines after the extreme success they had going 25-7 and then making it all the way to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament. As we are underway here in the second half in Ann Arbor, the Wolverines have it to get started. Layla Feely at the top of the key, outside Kaiser, switches it, Nolan, three from the corner, no good. Cam Williams with the rebound. She's fighting for it down low, back out. Layla Feely now on the wing. Feely down low to Kaiser. Kaiser has it stolen by number 24. That is Destiny Ward for St. Francis.
Yeah, Maddie Nolan tried a three back there. She struggled from behind the arc to start the season, going 1 of 8 against DSU on Wednesday.
And St. Francis dealing with a little bit of a high press here from Michigan. Cam Schrader now. Now Williams up on number 15 for Francis. St. Francis into the lane, and a foul on the Wolverines.
This is a good start for St. Francis, coming out, being aggressive, having active hands. You've got to go for steals in this situation. They got one, and way to just attack it inside and go to the line for two.
Most definitely. At the line, it'll be Addison Novosel as she misses the first off of the back heel. Again, 49-12 is the score here in this third quarter. 9:12 to go. We're just under a minute in. Shai, what are you looking forward to in this second half as Novosel makes that second free throw? What do the Wolverines need to continue to do to get some momentum going early here?
Well, I think they've really done a good job of working the ball inside, as I said earlier, and these guards have done a great job finding the bigs, and they've been making their layups.
And speaking of finding the bigs and making a layup, it's Cam Williams from down low. She gets a little bit of a putback layup to go. Destiny Ward now brings it up for St. Francis. Ward on the wing, working on Cam Schrader. Swings it back out to the corner. Oh, what a great move by Novosel. Unable to get some penetration going, though. St. Francis just kind of dribbling around at the top of the key here. Back outside, Novosel, a three from the corner. Got it to go, 51-16.
And the Wolverines are likely okay with that shot from the corner. The defense has been stifling all night. The pressure was there, just one you're going to give up.
Cam Schrader down low to Kaiser at the elbow. Back out, Feely at top of the key. She switches it to Cam Schrader. Throws it down low to Kaiser. What a great feed and a little layup for Emily Kaiser, the big, with an easy bucket for the Wolverines.
And the thing to like, even if for the Wolverines, the ball is getting there, but there's still room for improvement. More layups can be converted for these Wolverine bigs.
Ward now drives into the lane, unable to get a layup to go. Michigan now in transition. Felia dribbles it to her left, finds a spot just in front of the free throw line, got it to go, a little 10-footer. The Wolverines already
She
55-16.
absolutely has that one in her arsenal. That's a pull-up shot that's been in her bag. Now she's expanding to the three-point line, going 4 for 6 against DSU on Wednesday and making a couple here tonight.
Noblesville now at the top of the key. She goes to Layla Laws. Little off-ball screen there by number 31, Sam Miller for St. Francis. Eventually, Noblesville gets it back. She is just being hounded at that block end by Cam Williams, and they eventually call the foul there.
And hounded is a good way to describe it. You see these guards for the Wolverines really running all over the court to create constant pressure. Ari Wiggins had a great example of this, getting a steal up and in the first half.
Noblesville now will inbound it for St. Francis. She goes to number 1, Aaliyah Moore. Moore now dribbles in. Little Euro step on Cam Williams and then draws a foul from the Michigan big. And she will go to the line for 2 free throws with 7:15 to go in the third quarter. 55-16 is the score in Ann Arbor.
St. Francis seems to be a little bit more comfortable. I don't know if it's because the score is the way it is, and at this point there's not much on the line for this game for them, but they're definitely taking the ball inside and having some success getting to the foul line to start this second half.
Leah Moore gets the first free throw to go. She has quite a bit of yelling going on at her from the Michigan marching band, but gets the second free throw to go. Camp Schrader now dribbles it up past the block M, goes out to Felia in the corner, back out to Kaiser at the top of the key. Kaiser out to Maddie Nolan, down to Williams. Felia now, great bit of passing. Camp Schrader will have a 3. Off far, but Williams with the rebound. Down low to Kaiser. What a play by the Wolverines. It's just too easy with these offensive rebounds.
Yeah, second chance points have been big for the Wolverines, and it's just been tough for these smaller FSU bigs to do anything about it.
Now the Red Flash have it. On the wing, it's Novosel. Out wide to Layla Laws. Laws into the lane. She has it stolen by Camp Schrader. Greta Camp Schrader will dribble it all the way up. Puts up a layup, unable to go. Kaiser gets the board and is fouled by Sam Miller. I'm assuming they're calling that as a shooting foul. Yes, it will be. So Michigan will have 2 from the line here. Everything going right in this game for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, and you mentioned Naz Hillman earlier in this game, now playing for the Atlanta Dream, obviously. And they're looking for players like Cam Schrader, like Felia, like Emily Kaiser, who's been a staple, to really step up and fill that void. And they've done a great job, especially on the defensive end, of outworking their opponents.
And Emily Kaiser gets both of the free throws to go. Destiny Ward now try to get something going for the Red Flash here. They have been really struggling in this game. The score is 59-18. It's Aaliyah Moore. She goes out wide to Ward. The lefty with a little pull-up, unable to go. Layla Feely with the rebound. Feely now races forward. Goes out wide to Maddie Nolan. She'll get a little dribble penetration in. Down low to Williams. What a great dish for the sweet little 2 for the Wolverines. Possibly on a 100 watch tonight with how easy these buckets are. Destiny Ward now on the wing. She goes down to Sam Miller. Has it stolen by Maddie Nolan. Nolan races forward. Cross-court pass to Layla Felia all the way in for the layup. It's just too easy for the Wolverines right now.
The Wolverines are cool, calm, and collected on both sides of the floor. With the score looking like it is, they should be. They've had great vision all night to find open cutters. And frankly, St. Francis has, I know they're giving up size there, but they're just losing Michigan bigs down low. And perhaps it's the zone that they've been playing all night, but you've got to think Coach Whittington's got to make some adjustments, or if she has, they haven't quite worked.
And she'll get that opportunity right now. She called the timeout. That's Keela Whittington, the head coach of the St. Francis Red Flash. The score is 63-18 with 5:40 to go in the third quarter here in favor of the Wolverines. An absolute blowout. You know, we're going to start seeing probably a lot of the younger players from Michigan. Who are you looking forward to see for, one of the freshmen, maybe sophomores on this Michigan team?
Well, for me, it's Alyssa Crockett, number 20, the forward. And she's a 4-star recruit coming in. They're very excited about her. You lose a player like Naz Holman, it's really good to get a developmental player at that position that can really make an impact. And she was ranked number 48th in the country out of high school from ESPN. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do if she gets some time in the remainder of the second half, Neal.
Most definitely. And, you speak of, Alyssa Crockett as an example. Kim Barnes-Arico is going after these top recruits. I mean, she is being quite clear about that in the way that she wants to build this program between a combination of getting the 4 stars, the top 100 players in women's high school basketball, as well as developing them. A lot of the players in the past that KBA has had haven't been the highest recruits. But now, like you said, I mean, Layla Filia was ranked, I think, number 38 or something in the country coming in out of high school. They got Alyssa Crockett. They got their first All-American, McDonald's All-American, Greta Kemp-Schrader. Of course, she's the transfer from Oregon State. But what does that do for this program? Does that, unlock a new potential maybe to compete with teams like UConn?
It absolutely does. And I think it starts, we keep mentioning her, but Naz Hillman here tonight, the show with success that Michigan players can have in this program. Not only are they claiming to be the hardest working team in America, which it seems like they are always willing, eager to push and transition, but now you get the talent to supplement that culture. This team can really start to make a splash and build on that Elite 8 appearance that we saw them being celebrated for earlier tonight before the game.
Most definitely, and the Wolverines will make some mass substitutions, as will St. Francis, so bear with us as we get them down. But Leah Brown is in for the Wolverines, as is Danielle Roush. St. Francis now, Novosel on the wing. Goes down low to Leah Moore at the free throw line. She dribbles left, kicks it out to the corner. Layla Laws goes back to Moore at the wing. Moore with a little crossover, step back, jumper, rattles in and out, and it eventually goes down. St. Francis has their first bucket in 3 minutes. Michelle Seedor, is on the court.
Yeah, Moore's had a few nice moves today. That's a shot that they probably don't want to take, but Michigan defense is cutting them off and been stifling.
As Kaiser on the offensive end misses a layup, but Layla Filia comes out of nowhere and gets the rebound in the putback. St. Francis now with Felipe Gula. She goes out wide to Leah Moore. Moore dribbles around, goes to Laws. A lot of perimeter movement here. Now it's Gula in the corner. Step back 3. No good. Leah Brown with the rebound. And eventually a foul on Addison Novosel. As the score is 65-20 here with 4:30 to go. Another substitution for the Wolverines. That's number 30, Elise Stuck, coming on. And I believe we're going to have immediate timeout. I think this is the under 5 timeout. Yes, it is. But yeah, so 65-20 is the score here. 4:36 to go. With this new lineup, Elise Stuck onto the court, Leah Brown. What do you think KBA is looking at to try to build out the rest of this rotation?
Well, I think it's about right now who are the key players that you need. Leah Brown's going to be one of them, averaging 14 points per game last season, a key part of that NCAA run for them. That Layla Falia is going to be one. Emily Kaiser is going to be one. Cam Williams. But it's about, as you said, who's going to be able to step up in those few minutes to give those players rest. And right now, could it be a player like Alyssa Crockett, a freshman? Could it be another player like Whitney Solomon we saw earlier tonight for a few minutes? It's still in question, and that's what these minutes are important for.
Most definitely. And, even with somebody like Leah Brown, last season for the Wolverines, their starting point guard at the start of the season, Amy Dilk, went down with an injury. And when it came to the NCAA tournament, Dilk was back, but she didn't play as much. Leah Brown got a ton of minutes. And it's so important. And she was very big for this Wolverines team in that tournament. She was so big for this team in those big-time games later in the year. When you look at this new team, this year's team, Who do you think has to step it up from the bench or maybe even eventually rise into the starting lineup here? Because there's a lot of options with the amount of youth that this team has.
I'm looking at a player like right now, Jordan Hobbs, I think is one at guard, looking for an elevated role. Mentioned Kate Clark, another freshman. And the reason I'm mentioning guards more is those are the players running a lot on defense. We know that KBI wants a lot of pressure and hard work, and that bears a lot of burden on these guards to be running around, having active hands, making these plays, in deny stances on defense. So that's why these younger players are going to need to step up.
And speaking of Jordan Hobbs, she is onto the court as Leah Brown now has it in the wing, cross-court pass to Hobbs. Down low to Stuck. Brown now outside to Seedor. Back down low to Stuck. She then turns it over to Destiny Ward. Red flash will bring it up. Ward all the way into the lane and then fouled by Leah Brown as she goes up for a contested layup. And just as you said, Jordan Hobbs, almost like KBA's listening to us from up here, comes onto the court. She got a little bit of playing time at the beginning of last season. That kind of diminished a little bit as the season progressed. But, certainly can be a big contributor on this team.
And you talk about Jordan Hobbs, one of the taller guards on this team, standing 6'3". So if you want defense wingspan that's going to get in the passing lanes and create disruption, Jordan Hobbs might be your player.
And Destiny Ward goes 2 for 2 from the line. It's 65-22 here. Michigan races forward quickly. Leah Brown on the wing. Down low to Stuck at the free throw line. Out wide, Seedor wide open for three. No good off the heel. Red flash get the rebound. Leah Moore now quickly in transition. Going at Leah Brown. Tries a little spin, then dumps it off to her teammate. That's number 0, Jade Campbell, who is then fouled by Leah Brown. So the Red Flash will have 2 more free throws here. And, I think this game is quite clearly out of reach with the score being 65-22. But at this point, if you're Keely Whittington, it's just about building momentum into the next game, right?
Absolutely. The reality is when you go up against a team like Michigan that's talented, you know that you're going to be a little bit outmatched. But what can you build upon? I think working it in transition is going to be key. And just not being afraid to just take opportunities.
Seedor now in transition. Campbell missed both free throws. Kaiser now has it down low, posting up on Campbell. Has it stripped out, but they call a foul on Jade Campbell. A lot of whistles being blown here in this third quarter here. 3:47 to go in the third. Michigan will have it out of bounds.
And at times, this St. Francis team has also looked hesitant to shoot the ball. There's been a lot of shot clock violations in this game, and that's something you just can't have really at any level.
Leah Brown with inbound pass to Hobbs. She puts up a quick shot. Got it to go. How about that? Quick little turnaround. Didn't even really have her feet set, but it works for 2 for the Wolverines. Now Gula directing the offense for the Red Flash. And then we have an offensive foul, I believe, on Philippa Gula.
You just mentioned Gula. She led this St. Francis team in scoring with 12 points in their loss to Robert Morris. Obviously a much closer game, but the Wolverines have done a great job of limiting her here tonight.
And Alyssa Crockett is now into the game for the Wolverines. They dump it down to her down low, and she can't hold on to it. It goes out of bounds. Leah Moore will inbound it to Gula. She will dribble it up a little slowly across the block M. Michelle Seedor applying pressure. Gula now dribbles to her right. Gets a screen from Leah Moore outside to Campbell. Campbell out to Laws. Laws now, a little penetration in with a little right hand flip for 2. Got it to go for St. Francis. Seedor will bring it up.
And that's exactly what St. Francis wants to do to build on. Quick rip through, cut to the basket, and finish.
And quick shot for the Wolverines doesn't go down for Leah Brown. Just a little floater there. Now it's Leah Moore. She goes out to Gula. Gula dribbling around. Outside, has it picked off, and then out of bounds is Jordan Hobbs. Great little anticipation by Jordan Hobbs to catch the pass from Gula, but unfortunately her foot came down out of bounds. Decent crowd here in Ann Arbor and Chrysler Center. Certainly very early. I think a lot of people probably didn't even realize that both for men's and women's basketball seasons underway at this point.
Right, exactly. But I think both teams are mentioned having a nice crowd. The steal seems like taken away by
Michelle Seydour there.
Michelle Seymour.
And now it's Alyssa Crockett. She goes out wide to Leah Brown. Crockett down low. Great pass to Williams. Kicks it out to Hobbs. Great ball movement by the Wolverines. Hobbs unable to get the shot to go from 3. Big, strong rebound by Jade Campbell. Gula. Kind of stuck there on St. Francis offense. Eventually she dumps it off to Destiny Ward with Hobbs just hounding her. Ward now dumps it off to Gula in the corner. Almost steps out of bounds. Gula kicks it back out to Leah Moore into the lane for 2. Got it to go with the left-hand layup.
As I was saying, both of these Wolverine basketball teams, men's and women's side, are both exciting. That's why we're seeing the crowd that's here tonight, even so early in the season.
Hobbs steps into a jumper. Got it to go. Quick, easy J. 69-26 now with a minute and a half to go in the third quarter.
I think for KVA, what's going to separate who gets these minutes of these kind of younger players, younger guards, is going to be who can score the ball. Because I think all these Michigan Wolverines can defend. It's about who's going to contribute on the offensive side.
Laws now looks for a layup, unable to go off the padding of the backboard. Michigan races forward. Hobbs into the lane, throws up a little hook layup, got it to go with some pressure on Gula.
As we see Jordan Hobbs score 4 points consecutively for Michigan.
Campbell now at the free throw line. Dribbles in, has it picked off by Michelle Seydour. Seydour now races forward, shows great speed into the lane, a little bit of contact, almost gets the and one, and rims out for the layup, and she will have 2 free throws waiting for her at the free throw line. 55.1 seconds left in this third quarter.
And Cedar's another player that can contribute also off the bench, especially as a three-point shooter, knocking one down in Wednesday's win against DSU.
Seydour now. Deep breath from the line. At first, she leaves it short off the front edge. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We still have a quarter to go, man, and it's 71-26 as Seydour gets a second to go. But expect a lot of substitutions as we have one right now. Number 12 for the Wolverines, Ari Wiggins, is onto the court for Michelle Seydour.
And the amazing thing to me is, which is I think good thing, the Wolverine team looks a little tired out there because they've been running so much in transition, even with this humongous lead.
Most definitely. Williams switches on to Destiny Ward. She gets a little bit of lane to the hoop, goes into it, and fouled by Leah Brown. Or actually, not Leah Brown, excuse me. That's Alyssa Crockett. There'll be 2 free throws for the Red Flash, Destiny Ward. And, this is an interesting St. Francis team. Last year, they went 8-22, and their top scorer is all gone. Every single one of them gone. Other than I'm trying to look at it right now, number 5, Caitlin Maxwell, who is back for the Red Flash. She's not playing tonight. But other than her, St. Francis's next top scorer from last year averaged 1.7 points a game. So a lot of production lost.
Wow.
And we have over and back here by the Red Flash as they got the offensive rebound and leaked out. And then eventually an over and back call. So 72-27 here in Ann Arbor, 34.8 seconds to go in the third quarter, as Ari Wiggins now will direct the offense for the Maize and Blue. Wiggins stepping back at the literally at the midcourt, the very middle of the block M. Looking around, not too much movement going on here. Wolverines just keen on wasting the clock. Wiggins now gets the offense set, goes out to Hobbs, switches it out right wing, and then Leah Brown in the corner, wide open for 3, no good. Michigan gets the rebound with Wiggins. 6 seconds on the clock in the third here. Hobbs has to go. She finds out wide Crockett for 3, no good as the buzzer rings. 72-27 is the score at the end of the third quarter here in Chrysler Center. Michigan just dominant on all fronts, offensively, defensively. Shai, what were your biggest takeaways from that third quarter?
I think this team is relentless. I've said it once. I've said it again. They're not taking their foot off the gas. And I think my biggest takeaways are the play of, I think Jordan Hobbs was great in that quarter, both on the offensive and defensive end. Leah Brown did not play, I believe, against DSU. Throughout this game, not only in this third quarter, of course, she's been fantastic, especially on the defensive end, being able to create a lot of disruption, being physical, attacking inside, as we see her do so often. If you're a Wolverine fan, you have to feel good about what this team can accomplish this year.
Oh, most definitely. And, you know, they lost a lot of production from last year. There's no doubt about it. Naz Hillman, I mean, that is, I don't even know how to describe how important Naz Hillman was for this team. That's almost the whole team, honestly. Just her. And we've seen with how well she's been producing for the Atlanta Dream. But they also lost some other big-time players. Danielle Roush, I know I mentioned her today. Of course, she's not playing. She graduated. She's not here. But they lost some other production as well. KBA's got to be credited for the job she's doing to try to replace that this year. It seems like they have a lot of potential, especially with people like Greta Camp-Schrader coming in from Oregon State, a top recruit like that. You know, is this team fit, do you think, to replace all of that production that they had last year and really make a run? I know you alluded to it already.
I absolutely think they can. Again, they will be tested against higher, better competition. Nothing against St. Francis. They've shown against teams like this, against Delaware State, and in their exhibition game, but they can handle these teams with no problem and fit the bill as, you know, a team that maybe should be ranked higher than 25th in the country, especially if, as you said, KBA is able to get this production out of her players. She's going for around her 200th win. This would be her 11th season. And we can really see this culture and just the talent show on the court seemingly with every year.
Yeah, and Michigan will have their opportunities. A lot of good teams in the Big Ten, most certainly, as we are underway now in the fourth quarter. Destiny Ward has it, and a little reach-in foul on Layla Felia. You know, one other quick observation that I wanted to make, too, is it seems like Michigan's really running in transition this year. Even when getting the offense set, they are moving that ball forward. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And you mentioned it. Michigan themselves have lost some production. Hillman was huge. How do you replace that? You make your offense easier in transition. And yes, that's going to mean a larger rotation. Players will get tired, but better shots will come from it.
Most certainly. And Wolverines tried to run out in transition. They got a quick steal with Ari Wiggins, but then she was fouled. So now Michigan gets the half-court set. Camp-Schrader out to Felia. Wiggins down on the left wing. Down low. Back outside. Felia. A three. Got it to go. The rainbow arc from Layla Felia. Michigan's hit 75 as they try to maybe chase 100 today. We'll see.
Felia has been absolute money from all over the floor. I'm surprised almost she hasn't gotten more touches tonight, but such a great triple threat player for this Wolverine offense right now.
Sam Miller, the big for St. Francis, out wide. Wide open is Novosel. She gets the three to go for St. Francis. Ari Wiggins was just hounding the red flash there defensively, unable to switch on to Novosel, though. Felia to the top of the key. It's Camp-Schrader. Wiggins now. Cross-court pass, Felia. Camp-Schrader now, top of the key. Down low, Williams. Wiggins, a little dribble penetration. Wolverines just passing it around a ton right now. Let's see if Felia can get it going. 5 seconds on the shot clock. They got to do something. Camp-Schrader, step back three. No, off the front. And then eventually, Felia fights for a rebound and draws a foul. They say it's on Aaliyah Moore. Great bit of effort by the Wolverines in the fourth quarter of a game that they're winning by 45.
You mentioned that you thought Nazum was almost their whole team last year. Now there's such an opportunity for depth, and I look at this roster, and it's hard to think of players who can't come in and contribute. And hopefully KBA can turn this into a strength of this team now going forward.
Camp-Schrader goes down low, and Williams gets fouled. She was trying to get a little turnaround hook shot to go, but she gets fouled by number 31, Sam Miller, as the score is again 75-30 with 8:30 to go in this fourth quarter. Cameron Williams, she has 10 points today. It's been a great performance all around for the Wolverines as she gets the first free throw to go.
It also seems like the Wolverines are even more eager to run in transition in the second half and are working it less to their bigs in the low post now, instead definitely settling for more outside shots in this second half.
Yeah, and I mean, they had 23-point attempts in that first half. They're at 28 right now. They've made 6 of them in the game. As the Red Flash now are on offense, it's Destiny Ward. Whittington directing her players. Leah Moore now. Dribbles in and loses it off the baseline, off of her foot. Great bit of defense by the Wolverines there. Alyssa Crockett all over the place. And St. Francis will get a quick substitute going. Leah Moore will come off as Layla Laws will come in. Ari Wiggins will dribble it up for Michigan. Cam Schrader now has it. Out wide to Brown. Wiggins in the corner. Down low, it's Emily Kaiser. Quick little dump-off pass to Crockett. Unable to get the shot to go, though. Lipa Gula is on the court now for St. Francis.
That's the type of play we haven't seen in a while. Get the ball down low. Great vision pass from Ophelia. Just Kaiser can't get it to go.
Now Jade Campbell dribbles it, almost loses it, and then does turn it over to Destiny Ward as Michigan gets it back. Ophelia now in transition will stop the offense and just get the half-court set. Cam Schrader back to Ophelia. Open three. She doesn't take it. Goes down low to Kaiser. Great smart pass by Layla Ophelia, finding the big down low. And Emily Kaiser has 2 to her name. And then eventually St. Francis just turns it over. Layla Laws, a very, very sloppy mistake on the out of bounds. She just threw it away, looking for Destiny Ward. It's kind of a summation of how tonight's gone for St. Francis as we have a timeout on the court. 79-30, again, is the score in this game. St. Francis has been able to get nothing going here.
They've really struggled to possess the ball and be strong with the ball, and that's especially tough when you're giving up size at what seems like all positions. So it's a little bit harder to have that vision to find open cutters that Michigan has done so well tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, we said coming into this half that those 23-point attempts that they took, that was very, very interesting because, again, and we're going to say this all year long, folks. You're going to have to get used to it. It's going to be a broken record. But they're replacing Naz Hillman. I mean, she was the focal point of this offense. And Michigan relied on her way more than any other team in the country relied on one player. I mean, I don't know what her usage rate was, but it had to be number 1 in the country by a decent amount. And so this team didn't take a lot of threes last year. It seems like maybe KBA is making that transition with this team. And it also seems like they have shooters to do that finally.
I agree. And with some of these opening games, KBA has the chance to experiment. Can I get this level of offense, this level of production from the three-point line? Or do I need to be more creative? Do I need to run more set pieces? Get the ball inside, to players in the post more creatively. We haven't seen the pick and roll utilized a lot. We haven't seen, many off-ball screens, off-ball cuts, motions. It's been mainly transition offense and or three-point shots.
Yeah, and, this is a Michigan team that last year made 4.6 threes a game. That is literally like 12 to 15 points every game. They have 6 tonight. They're taking more. And you'd think that, there's going to be nights. Of course, there's that famous mantra that any Wolverines fan will remember from that men's basketball team, or from all those men's basketball teams under John Beilein. But sometimes you got to live and die by the three. And maybe that raises their ceiling. Who knows?
And we'll have to see as they're tested in higher forms of competition.
And that's why You should stay tuned to WCBN Sports throughout the season. We got a very exciting season of women's basketball.
Absolutely.
Back in action here. Ari Wiggins dribbles into the lane for a floater. Gets her own rebound. How about that? Wiggins now gets the offense reset. Goes back down. Alyssa Crockett down low to Kaiser. Great pass. And Emily Kaiser is feasting down low. That is 23 points for the fifth-year senior.
I don't think St. Francis has made an adjustment away from the zone all night. And they've just been diced apart by Wolverine guards. I understand they're giving up size, but to what extent do you make changes there?
Yeah, and of course that would fall on Keely Whittington as Jade Campbell goes down low, tries to use her size, unable to, as it gets blocked by Alyssa Crockett.
Alyssa Crockett says not today, making an impact on the defensive end, as we know she can make an impact in the offensive end as well.
And true freshman Kate Clark is now into the game. She turns it over from Michigan. She'll certainly want to take advantage of these last few minutes of this game. Number 14 for St. Francis also into the game. That's Marissa Shelton. She goes out wide to Campbell in the corner, who then finds Layla Laws. Behind the arc, Laws working on Crockett. Crockett then gets another block out of bounds. How about that for Alyssa Crockett?
Those are just great defensive plays. Knowing that maybe you're matching up against a smaller player, being patient, even if they're quicker, timing that jump and just getting the handle on the ball. It's great defense by Crockett.
Inbound by Destiny Ward. She goes out to Novasol. Now Shelton dribbles, has it deflected off of her own knee. Maddie Nolan stepped in there to make the defensive play, and Michigan will have it right back. 81-30 is the score with 5:50 to go in this game. Maddie Nolan now dumps it down low to Kaiser. Will she feast again? She most certainly will. We only have 2 weeks until Thanksgiving, but Emily Kaiser is certainly having a feast tonight.
Absolutely, and she's being served on a platter by these Wolverine guards who are having the vision to constantly know where she's going to be and when she's going to be there.
Most definitely. Shelton out wide to Novasol. Novasol gets a screen from Layla Laws, then finds Laws in the corner. 5 seconds on the shot clock. She'll have to put up a shot. She does. Puts up a prayer. Doesn't go, but she got fouled as she made the little turnaround jumper. Into the game for Michigan, number 30, Elise Stuck. And she'll be taking out Emily Kaiser, 25 points and 4 rebounds for the 6'3" graduate student. What a performance. Red flash, get the inbounds. Out wide is Destiny Ward in the corner. She gets a screen from Sam Miller. Great screen. Ward into the lane, gets fouled by Ari Wiggins.
That was a well-designed play from St. Francis. Screen on the little mid-range corner area. Good job of using it, getting up the floater. It's a quality shot.
Yeah, I think those little mid-range screens at the elbow, like the 15 feet mark as Ward gets the first free throw to go, those are pretty effective, and I don't think a lot of teams use them, honestly, both in the men's game and women's game.
Well, today's age of basketball, Neal, that's considered a low percentage shot, ironically, because it's a tough shot from a 2, and you're not getting the yield from a 3.
And how about these Wolverines just racing forward to get the offense set? Michigan now, Maddie Nolan dribbles it in.
We have not called her name a lot tonight, Neal.
No, I haven't, as she then turns it over looking for Elise Stuck. Nolan, of course, was a humongous part of this Michigan team a year ago.
Nolan averaged around 9 points a game last season, 4 rebounds, and around 2 assists, playing a whopping 29 minutes per last year. You mentioned a huge part of that Michigan team.
Certainly a big three-point shooter. She shot 40.5% from 3 last season as Michigan. Maddie Nolan commits a foul on the perimeter on number 14, Marissa Shelton for St. Francis. But, they got to be, if they're going to try to get this three-point shooting going, it has to start with Maddie Nolan, right?
Absolutely, but she struggled to start the season. I've already said that once tonight, and I'm sure it's a small sample size, of course, but as more attempts come, more shots will fall. But yes, it definitely has to start with your seniors, your leaderships at that guard position.
Sam Miller now with the basketball way outside the perimeter, the big man. Then down low, Novosel puts up a little layup, unable to go, and then gets her rebound, and it goes out of bounds off a Wolverine. 83-32 with 4:09 to go.
I believe that was Alyssa Crockett's third block of the night right there, and limited playing time.
Yeah, she has been fantastic. Destiny Ward will inbound for St. Francis and then just goes right to Elise Stuck. Not a good play. Maddie Nolan now. We'll see if she can get something going to finish out this game. Switches it. Out wide, Kate Clark has it. Down low, great bit of passing by Wolverines. Fantastic ball movement. Maddie Nolan from 3, got it to go. Just as we were saying, right on cue, Maddie Nolan with a big-time 3 for the Wolverines.
There we go. She must have heard me and wanted to shut me up, Neal.
Score is now 86-32 here in Ann Arbor. 3:30 to go. Destiny Ward dribbles into the lane, splits 2 defenders, tries to flick it back out. She has it stolen by Ari Wiggins. Great heads-up play by the Wolverine. Wiggins now in transition, racing by everybody. Left-hand layup, no good. Sam Miller with the rebound.
Ari Wiggins has got to convert more of those. She's had a lot of opportunities to make layups in transition. I know she's giving up size, but as a player that's working hard on defense, those are must-haves.
Ward now, deep 3 for St. Francis, off the backboard and out as Michigan gets the rebound to Elise Stuck. Kate Clark now on the right wing. Back to Wiggins. Down low to the elbow. Elise Stuck, wide open jumper, no good.
Seemed as though she was surprised to be that open and just put it up a little rushed.
Yeah, Laws races out in transition. Yeah, it definitely looked like she didn't have her feet set there. Laws now, great little blow by her defender, and then gets the layup to go. Just easy for Layla Laws right there.
Layla Laws has quietly had a nice game, just attacking and being a little bit of a spark in the second half for the St. Francis offense.
Little 3-2 zone here for St. Francis. Down low, Elise Stuck outside Wiggins. Some dribble penetration. She turns it over, though. Novosel has it. She'll race to her left, spinning, puts up a right-handed layup, and got it to go. How about that play from Addison Novosel?
Good defense in transition.
Better offense. Yep. Just under 2 to go now, 86-36.
I also think Destiny Ward's had a nice game here, especially in the second half for St. Francis as well.
Stuck, kicks it out. Maddie Nolan has an open 3, no good. Took it from about a foot or 2 behind the line. Michigan gets the rebound. Kate Clark races it down. Nolan again. Left a little open. She didn't take it that time. Eventually down low to Elise Stuck. Great pass by the Wolverines. Alyssa Crockett finding Elise Stuck for 2. We've seen a lot of that tonight. 88-36 now the score. As Keely Whittington is arguing with the ref for something. And it'll be a timeout by St. Francis, their last timeout of the game. I think that was more so done maybe to get some subs in with a minute 19 to go in this game here. But Shai, I mean, a perfect night for KBA and for this Michigan team. It doesn't really get too much better than having a 52-point lead. And I know, St. Francis is, not a top-tier team. It's not a top-tier conference, the Northeast Conference. But any win that you can take early on, it's just about building momentum.
Absolutely. And the more you begin to think, we are that team, we are the hardest working team in America, that is us, and you embody that, the better and better you're going to play. You're right, it is all about momentum.
Most certainly, and you bring up that we're the hardest working team, that this team has said. They've showed that tonight, most certainly, because, we've been talking about the three-point game. They still have a little bit of that grit and grind, dump it off down low to their bigs, and just get you a bucket, man. And they've been doing that with Emily Kaiser today. 25 points for Emily Kaiser. Just fantastic game. What did she do right today?
I think she's gotten the ball in good position, and she's just made, even contested layups look easy. We saw Elise Stuck just do a little jump hook with the left hand, showing shades of Emily Kaiser, her older starter that she's probably looking to emulate and maybe one day take over for.
Maria McCollum now into the game for St. Francis. She goes to Marissa Shelton. As we approach the 1 minute mark, Shelton, little hezzy, dumps it off to McConnell. Red Flash passing it around. Shelton now in the corner. They're struggling to get some penetration going. Shelton will try here. She dumps it out and turns it over. She was looking for Harris Robinson sub into the game. And certainly this is Keely Whittington trying to get her players some playing time and some experience here.
And what's interesting to me about the Wolverines playing offense, you mentioned the three-point shots, but it almost seems to me the biggest area of improvement are the amount of layups that have been missed. They've certainly made a lot. There certainly also seems like room for growth there, too.
Hobbs now has it at the top of the key, out wide to Clark, down low to Stuck. Good passing by Michigan. Crockett with a little bit of footwork action, unable to get the shot to go, rebounded by Kate Clark, but then we have an off-ball foul. And so the shot will not count. 34.1 seconds left in this game. I can definitely hear the buses getting started. 88-36. The inbound for the Wolverines. Clark wide open for three, and she drains it for the Wolverines.
It's garbage time, but that's a big basket for Clark. Young freshman trying to show I can come in, I can make shots from the three-point line. Yeah, especially if that's going to be a bigger part of the offense this year.
St. Francis left her wide open. They were testing her, and maybe a little early season tape for Kate Clark. And St. Francis turns it over. My goodness. Marissa Shelton threw it into the third row. 12.5 seconds. Alyssa Crockett will take the inbounds to Ari Wiggins, who will likely just dribble this one out. 91-36. Wiggins is just going to hold on to it at the top near midcourt on the block M. That is it in Ann Arbor. Michigan wins it 91-36. What a big win. A 55-point win, no doubt. But who is your player of the game? It has to be Emily Kaiser, right?
I think it has to be. You have to credit her for the shots that she's made, the impact defensively, rebounding, the second chance points. Critical. But you can't talk about Emily Kaiser without mentioning players like Layla Felia, players like Maddie Nolan, like Ari Wiggins that are dishing the ball to her inside, giving her the opportunities to make plays, and also give credit to KBA for running an offense designed to dice up this 2-3 zone. They were prepared for it, and Kaiser reaps the benefits in a big way tonight.
Most certainly. And, again, this is just Michigan's second game of the season, but it's about building momentum for the games that are really going to matter. This Wolverines team, of course, coming off of a win against Delaware State. They have Western Michigan coming up at home on Wednesday. And looking ahead, not too many big-time games coming up in the near future. They have the Gulf Coast Showcase, where they'll play Air Force November 25th. And there's a couple other solid teams in that tournament. I think the biggest one in the non-conference has to be the Jumpman Invitational, where they'll be playing North Carolina December 20th. That's a Carolina team that's top 15 in the country. And so what does this team need to do to get ready for those games?
I think it's just looking to build, seeing, as we talked about, where are we going to get our offense from? Is it going to be from the three-point line? Are we going to work it inside? How do we deal with teams that play really good man defense, like the Wolverines do, clearly? Dealing with that pressure. And I just think learning as you go will be the biggest thing for KBA, this entire Wolverines team, because they have the players, they have the leadership to get it done. And I'm just excited to see what happens against a team like North Carolina that has a similar hard-working culture to that of Michigan.
Definitely, and it'll be very, very fun to watch. And for all of you listening, very, very fun to listen. Make sure to stay tuned for some men's basketball action coming up in a few minutes here on WCBN Sports Radio on YouTube. We will sign off here. My name is Neal Sinha, joined alongside with Shai Dweck, and we'll leave the way for the men's basketball crew to take it over. Again, thank you so much to everybody listening, and we'll see you next time on WCBN Sports Radio.